Teresa Gavrone. Thanks for everybody for being here and being a part of the announcement for the Italian Bowl coming back in 2025. It was a big, monumental kind of event to bring the first European championship of any kind, outside of Europe and play it here in the United States. And to be able to do that and to have the response and the support we had from the community was tremendous. There's a lot of history, a lot of tie-in between both Toledo and Italy. And so, I've lived in both places. Now I call Toledo my home. So to be able to really see both parts of this event come together, the way the Italians found Toledo, how much enjoyment they found here, and they continue to talk about how great their memories were here, even compared to other coasts. A lot of the guys that were here, had been to New York, they'd been to San Francisco, but they'd never really been to the heart of America, to the Midwest. And they still talk about it. They're like, this is kind of the real America that we've seen from movies. And then to have their, quote unquote, American dream of sorts to play their championship game, our sport, in such a beautiful facility, at the University of Toledo. And thank you to Brian Blair for being a huge part of making that happen as well. So be able to bring that back again, so many tie-ins between the history of that, our sport in Italy. It's been around now. This will be the 44th Italian Bowl that we'll be having in Toledo. The first American football game was played on January 1st, 1945 in Florence. They called it the Spaghetti Bowl. And it's a huge part of the history. It was, in the middle of World War, or towards the end of World War II, but it's still an active war front, 30 miles away from where they played this game. And the response there, and how important, I like to say, Toledo was as a part of that first football game with the Jeep. Every Jeep Wrangler in the world, as we know, is made here in Toledo. And to have Jeep kind of being a part of that and bringing American football to Italy, now to come full circle and play their championship game here, not once, but a second time, means a lot to me, and of course my career in playing in that league. So with that, gives you a history of how we were here, and I echo a lot of Jeff's comments. The more support and the more we can bring these type of international events, and the folks that follow them here are just wonderful things for our community. I will say, we did have the mayor of Palermo, Leoluca Orlando, here. He's the president of the American Football League. He was just elected to European Parliament, and one of the biggest signs of how much of a successful event for me was him going back and then being featured in La Repubblica, one of the biggest publications in Italy, about how great his time was in Italy and how important an event it was to be able to bring that here. So I'm going to now introduce Lou Tosi. Lou has been a huge part of this since day one, believing in the event, and I'll let him say a few words as well about his involvement in bringing the game back too.
First, I have to say thanks to Nick Ide, his development company, and to Buckeye Cable. Without their participation, this game wouldn't have happened. They put a ton of work into it, and they were the prime movers. But now we have a lot of people backing this game. We have the city, we have the Regional Growth Partnership, we've got the county officials here, and multiple businesses. I may leave someone out. And the reason I mention these people is when we first started this Odyssey, I was talking to Nick about it, and we wondered, if we throw this game, will they come? And when we first approached people, we got a lot of what's, whys, but we stayed with it. And we had meetings in Italy with the economic ministers and with some of the consulates and Italia Airlines. We kept driving. And my biggest surprise was game day as I drove up to UT Stadium. And by the way, UT is a huge part of this. I left them out. I wondered, oh my God, will anybody be there? And immediately I saw the north parking lot, and it was rocking. People had come from far away as New York, Washington, D.C. We had some people from Italy come over. We had people from all over Ohio. We had busloads of people from Detroit. And for some reason, it caught on. But the primary reason is the work of Buckeye and BCSN. As you know, they televised the Italian Game of the Week starting in March. So it's going to happen again. And this time, to anybody listening, mark your calendars when you hear your date, because it's fun, it's good football, and it's like nothing you've ever seen. So I'm proud to be part of this group and to be enthusiastic about it, because a little enthusiasm goes a long way towards success. And with that, I'm going to introduce somebody who's been a nice help to us Senator Teresa Gavrone, the Ohio Senate, for the 2nd District, which includes Toledo and parts of Wood County. Teresa?
Thank you very much. I'm Senator Teresa Gavrone, and gosh, it was probably a few months ago, I was talking to some people and I got the invitation to join RGP and Jobs Ohio for a business forum in Italy. RGP has been a huge sponsor of Italian American football. And when I had the opportunity to go and talk to businesses in the area, I jumped at the opportunity. And so we're at this business forum, and you're talking to businesses. We toured businesses, and you're talking to people, and you know, a lot of people are familiar with Florida, California, New York. But this was an opportunity for Ohio to tell our story. And everything we're doing to cut taxes, cut regulations, create a business-friendly environment. And the businesses, the people there, were really interested. And you see the importance of collaborations such as the Italian Bowl here in Toledo and what that means to bringing people together and highlighting Ohio throughout Italy. RGP has done a tremendous job. But it's important that we continue to tell that story. And having another Italian Bowl right here in Toledo is just a tremendous opportunity to bring people together. So I am thrilled to be a part of the committee bringing the games back. And thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Really excited to be here today. This is an amazing event, but I'd argue this is more than a game. This is more than about a football game. It's more than a cultural celebration. It's more than a night market, right? I mean, this is really the example of teamwork and what can happen in the city of Toledo when we all pull in the same direction together. I had heard a quote from a speaker the other day, and he said, "There's no addition by division." And I think that quote is so symbolic as we stand here today and talk about what was and what's become, and also with the ability to dream big. Right? I think you've got a team of people behind me that dared to dream big. Even when others said, I don't know if that's possible, I don't know if that's realistic, should we be doing this? They dreamed big, they executed, and it happened. And I'm excited today to say it's going to happen again. It's going to continue to happen. The University of Toledo is so excited to host this event. This is also selfishly great for us. We get a ton of new individuals on our college campus seeing us for the first time, experiencing that campus for the first time, and filling the Glass Bowl at a time of the year when otherwise we don't have our own programs percolating on that turf. So really excited to have that. We had a recent study that we delivered $79 million in economic impact to the local community and $80 million in media exposure. The Glass Bowl is a critical piece of that. The Italian Bowl is a critical piece of that as we continue to solicit and bring events onto our campus to showcase what's great at the university, but showcase what's great about this community. So since I've been in town, I've championed this phrase of Team Toledo. The university, the athletic department, and this community pulling in the same direction. This is an example of that Team Toledo spirit. You've got the university, you've got the city, you've got the athletic department all collaborating and saying, okay, what's possible? The next question I'd ask is what's next? What's next for the Italian Bowl? What's next for the university? What's next for the Toledo Rockets? I'm excited to build that with all of you. I'm excited to build that with this team behind me. Go Italian Bowl, go Rockets.
It's a conspiracy to always have the most boring speaker follow the most charismatic. So whoever was in charge of the agenda, well done. I can say that the Italian Bowl, a lot of things, and it's been touched on a couple times. First of all, it's fun. It's just old-fashioned fun to have a bunch of folks who play the game not because they're well compensated, but because they love it. The atmosphere at the game is fun. There's people dressed almost the way you would see them at a soccer game with the sort of the European cheers and chants. The week, this isn't just a game. This is a week of events leading into it. Last time we had tours of the Wilson plant down in Ada where they make every NFL football. Took a tour of the Hall of Fame in Canton. I think this time we have a notion to go up and visit the Detroit Lions at their training camp in Allen Park. There, as Senator Gavrone said, there are business forums. So there's not just a game, it's a whole week of events, and a lot of it is just fun. But let's not lose sight of the fact that this is a real economic driver for our community. It's not every week that we have 2,000 Italian tourists living in our city, staying in our hotels, shopping at our restaurants and stores, and that's a good thing. A lot of people have asked, why Toledo? Why is this happening in Toledo? And sure, the historian in me likes to point out, well, the sport of football was invented in Ohio. It actually was. Newt Rockne invented the forward pass while lifeguarding at Cedar Point, and that's true. And they do make every NFL football for every NFL game, about 70 miles down the road. All that's true. But fundamentally, the answer to that question is, why not Toledo? Successful cities sometimes have to be interesting. And no matter what else this is interesting. This is a fun, interesting, kind of quirky event that people really rallied behind in 2023. And when we were dreaming this up, while we didn't set out to have it be an every other year thing, boy, that seems like that's kind of how it's evolving. Where every even year they play their championship in their home country, and in the odd years they come to Toledo. And if a tradition is forming, it's a wonderful tradition that, yes, will bring people together, inspire cultural and educational exchange, but also bring some dollars into our community through tourism. So it's what began as a dream of Nick Ides at a lunch a couple years ago has advanced into something that's real. And I think the turnout that we saw 2 years ago, having 10,000 people in the Glass Bowl on a rainy day in the middle of July for the championship, when I can tell you firsthand, in Italy, in the championship in their own country, there were, 3,500 people maybe. So, you're talking about 3 or 4 times the amount of interest for the championship game here than there was, in their home country. It really speaks to how this idea has taken hold, and that is only because of the collaboration and cooperation of everyone standing up here, not the least of whom are our next speakers, Anita Lopez and Lisa Sebecki, representing the Lucas County Commissioners. I'm not sure who's going to speak first, but I certainly want to recognize the partnership that the county brings to this event also. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you. And I think about this, when someone like Nick has a dream and he search out to make that dream a reality, again, it's just all the people behind it makes those dreams do come true for so many people. Good morning, and thank you everyone for being here. I'm so excited to have this wonderful event coming back to our community in 2025. I can remember on that warm, wet, to dry day a couple of years ago. Myself, my family, and a whole bunch of other folks came around, and we went to the game ourselves. And at first, I want to say, they were asking me, Lisa, what are we doing here? And I said, just sit back and watch, because we're going to have a good time, and this is exactly what has happened. I want to thank all the organizations and local leaders standing up here today to help make the Italian Bowl such a success in 2023, that we are going to host it again in 2025, and I can't wait to hear the other years. Think about the folks. There's an international event, folks. Think about that for a second. It's already been stated, but I'm going to reinstate that again, is that when we are showcasing not just Toledo, but we're showing Lucas County, and we're showcasing those folks that are going to come here. Yes, businesses are and will and shall grow from that, because Toledo is a great place to call home, but Lucas County is a better place to call home as well. In Lucas County, we love our football. My family loves our football. We've had season passes that we've had for 28 years that we've lived here. And we just have an amazing time. But with the Italian Bowl, we're going to be there as well. You have the tailgating, you have the spirit, you have the fun, you have the weeks-long festivities. Mayor, you're probably going to have to eat a little pasta. And I know it's probably not on your diet, but that's probably going to be a little week of pasta for you. So prepare for that.
I'm up to the challenge.
All right, great. Toledo is the epicenter of the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry, the greatest rivalry in all college football. Lucas County sits in a location that has fans for both the Detroit Lions and the Cleveland Browns. We have high schools consistently competing for state championships in our county. And of course, the highlight of them all, our University of Toledo Rockets football team, who has played back-to-back MAC championships and will return the championship this year, has distinguished itself as a formidable force in the college football world. This event adds to our wonderful legacy when it comes to American football. We've heard a lot about economic value, but let's put some numbers behind that economic value. Is when people are coming here to visit, they're eating in our restaurants, they're staying in our hotels, they're visiting our businesses, and they're not only going to the game, but that in 2023, that brought in approximately $1.9 million. So I know that challenge is going to go up, and we're going to quadruple that number, and this is going to be a good impact on our economy. For those who are lucky enough to attend the last Italian Bowl, the energy was palatable. Our local businesses thrive. We've had a passport to the Taste of Italy restaurant week leading up to the game, hosted a night market at the stadium, and topped it off with a great football game between Parma and Florence. We're looking forward to some of that same energy and the same local economic value, but more, and with some of the great football in 2025. So let's join us in Toledo, join us in Lucas County for another massive event in our community. And as the Toledo Rockets will say, we'll see you at the game. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and I'm so happy to say that the county will be partners next year as we sponsored in 2023. We look forward to sponsoring again in 2025. As Commissioner Sabecki said, we did see that economic return of $1.9 million back to our community. But the other thing you saw was the enormous pride of the Italian American community. Pat Giamarco, many other businesses with the passport of Italy, seeing the restaurants, getting excited. We are lucky that Toledo is a diverse community, but when you can have the partnership of bringing that energy and the Italian Americans and the Europeans here for this great event, but for them to see the pride of our ethnicity, the Italians who've been so successful here in our community, to know that their heritage is strong and going and doing wonderful things in our county. So thank you again. As the new commissioner, I look forward to participating more and doing everything we can do to make this a wonderful event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Sabecki, Commissioner Lopez. Appreciate your enthusiasm. We'll watch a little video from Matteo Pella when he was here.
Crazy experiment of 2023, crazy but successful experiment. It's going to feel like coming back home again in the University of Toledo for FIDA, and for teams that will make their way to the final. It will be quite an experience, because the aftermath of that experience was just nothing but positive vibe and positive feedback. All the players, all the people who were involved in the experience, and cherish the idea to come back and really have great memories of that moment that they spent, that week that they spent over here at the University of Toledo. There's a high motivation and high interest in these kids, to the point that some of them are actually turning down offers to play in the European League of Football, which is a semi-pro league that goes on all over football, to play in the Italian League, just because what's at stake is very interesting to them. Coming here to Toledo, living a real American football experience. Parma presents itself as the #1 candidate to play the final again. They're pretty damn good team, very well equipped, very well coached, and as their runner-up, I would say that I think that the 12 team might have lost a little bit of momentum. I see potential runner-ups in the Florence Legnano, who could be a surprise, or the Scorpions Varese, which needs to show that the day zero, the perfect regular season way, didn't happen by accident. It's going to be a tough challenge for them, but I see these two teams as potential contenders to the Parma Cup. The world of football is really worldwide, and even the NFL, the pro players, and very flattering words and very motivating words toward the fact that it's going to be a huge opportunity for the sport to play on an Olympic stage. And honestly, Italy is much better placed in terms of level of playing level in flag football, where I think we currently rank 5th as a country. So Italy has actually a good chance to make it to Los Angeles, to the Earth, and what a dream for these girls and guys who play the sport from their 4 or 5 years old. It's going to be really probably the highest possible target for somebody to play the sport.
That's okay. About 50 seconds.
I'm gonna put mine on.
So we got our new swag, our Italian Bowl 2025 t-shirts. But again, thank you for everybody being here. And I didn't get a chance to thank properly the commissioners as well for your words as well and support. I do want to point out, Matteo did mention that Parma won again. They won here in Toledo. They won in Ravenna. And we're still going to get questions on, and this is just natural, and I know from playing 5 years in Italy, talking about what sport I play, people will still ask, is this soccer? Is this football? And I will recommend, and it ties into Toledo 2023 and potentially 25 as well. There's a book out there, Playing for Pizza, written by John Grisham. You check it out, read it. It's about the Italian Bowl, about the Italian season. And one other message, and this, again, echoes the comments for both Mayor Wade and Commissioner Sabecki as well, is, you know, we have to be telling our story about Toledo. When John Grisham came to the Italian Bowl, he left his family vacation, came to Toledo, had never been, and had just an amazing time. So much so that, you know, he sent me a text message the day after he got there. He said, Nick, I had no idea what was happening in Toledo. I had no idea I'd have such a great time, and just was, you know, full of praise for everything that happened that weekend. Now, potentially it looks like Parma could be back in that game again, which would be interesting. But I recommend that book, Playing for Pizza, about the Italian League, about the Italian Bowl. And looking forward to seeing everybody in 2025. The regular season coverage starts in March with Jeff's team at BCSN. Game of the Week will be on that channel, and it should be a really exciting season to watch. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, everyone here, for your support. And we'll see you at the Italian Bowl.
Thank you again.